Hi, it's Nick. Just making this video to show you one of my post-war engines. I received this as a Christmas gift in the mid-50s from my folks, and I had such great fun running it. And I just like to explain a little bit about it before I hook it up to some rolling stock and run it around the track. But let me just explain to you a little bit about it. The first thing is it's all plastic or molded plastic. And as you can see, it's a 242. It's an Army switcher. And it says right here on the side, United States Army, and it has over in this area, Transportation Corps. And it's the number is 41, and they also put it up on top here, 41. I'll go over a little bit about the engine. The type motor that's in there, it's a worm gear motor. And as you know, with a worm gear, if the motor's not running, the wheels won't turn when you slide it on the track or push it on. It'll just slide. As you can see, it locks. And it doesn't have a light, it doesn't have a horn, and of course it doesn't have any sound. But when I get this running, you're going to think it is a little soundboard in there because it makes such a racket. I guess maybe because of the worm gear and the gears that it's internally. As I mentioned, it doesn't have a light, but I was about, I guess maybe 13, 14, and I decided that I wanted to put a light in it, which I did. I put a light socket in here, and when I have it running, you'll see it. The headlight will shine, of course, but then on the top you have these three stacks, and the glow of the light comes through. Especially at night when I shut the lights off, you'll see it. But let's get back to the describing the engine. It has some steps here. They're metal, sheet metal, and you have sheet metal railing right in this area, and you have the little platform. And in the plastic, they have little work doors. It's nice little detail. It has the hinges here. It has a couple little rivets, and they have some rivets in this area. Now, if you go towards the cab, as I mentioned before, the writing of it, but it has these windows, no glass in it. And what I'm going to do is, well, I will be taking it off so you can see the front, but I did want to go over one other part. On the wheels, they have a little decoration in here, which is the spokes of the wheels, and this one in here, and then the main drive wheels have it, and also the back wheel has it. So that was pretty neat. And you have one linkage, as you can see here. Now I'm just going to take it off the track so you can see the front. See how it works out. Yeah, you can see it. Alright, here's the headlight. And as I mentioned when I first got it, there was no light in it. But you'll see it when I put it on. And right here, it says Lionel. And you have some grill work in the plastic right here. And then you have your coupler. And it's a mechanical coupler. And you can open up by manual, and I'll do it right now. There's a little lever on the side. You just press down and it just pops out because it has a little spring in there. Or when you go over the magnetic track and you hit the button, it'll pull the pin down and then she'll pop out. It also has a metal railing here. It has some detail right in this area, a couple of rivets, and you have a piece of metal that comes down on this side here. Now what I'll do is I'll turn it to the back turn it over this way. And as you can see, it has a coupler here, and it works the same way as the front one. And as far as this railing and all the detail of it, it's the same as the front. It has a door in the molding here with a window, no glass, one on this side and one on this side. This here is probably, it is the backup light, but of course there's nothing in there. It's just part of the mold. Now, I'll bring it around over here, and there's another part I want to explain to you. You see this little level right here? Well, if it's in one position, it'll make current go to the relay, which is the directional relay. And when it's in this position and you have your transformer on, you press your directional, it'll go neutral. You press it again, it'll go forward. Press it again, it'll be neutral. Press it again, and it'll go reverse. Now, in the 50s and 60s, and probably even later than that, before they came out with the TCM and legacy control, if you had this on a siding with a couple of cars, and then let's say I would have a train coming on this one, and I want to control this train, but I don't want this one to be controlled, I would put this level in an up position, and what it would do, it would break the circuit, and no current will go to the directional relay. So I can press this button, directional button, and it'll operate the train that's on this track, but it'll have no effect on this one because of the position of the switch. Now, of course, after I've finished playing and I just want to run this particular diesel, I would just put it back into that position, and then I can control this with the transform as far as the directional, because the current will be going to the directional coil. I just wanted to mention that to you. Now I'll just go on the top. As I mentioned before, on the top, just move that a little bit, you have 3 stacks, and you have a plate here, and you have some rivets holding it down, and you have a horn here, which they probably glued it onto the plastic. And then on top, just very little detail. There's like some rivets coming this way, and then rivets coming this way. So basically, that's how the engine looks. I always liked the engine because of the United States of America, and I used to put soldiers on here, and in the gondola I would have a tank, and just the way your imagination goes. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I still have fun running it. I enjoy running my post-war engines as well as my TCM and my legacy engines. And I made a video where I can run my post-war trains on this outer track, and the 2 inner tracks I can run my legacy engines at the same time. And I made a video showing the wiring diagram, how I did it, and then I made another video where I actually show how I ran the conventional with the 2 legacies. It really was nice, and it really worked out pretty good. Okay, so now what I will do is I'm going to hook up some cars to this engine, and basically she can run 3, maybe 4, but I always use 3. And one other thing, I always like to improve on my post-war engines. And when I bought the legacy engines, they came with the traction tires. And I said, gee, let me just see how it would work if I put them on this post-war engine. And I did. I put one on this back drive wheel and one on the other. And I tell you, it really works. It doesn't slip, and at slow speeds, it'll just run nice. And when I pick it up, it'll just pick up the speed very well, and there's no slippage. So, maybe you fellows might be interested in doing that. But of course, that's what I did with my post-war engines. Doesn't mean you have to. But it does improve the traction of it. So now I'm going to get 3 cars. I have them on the track. I'm just going to roll it up to the diesel engine and hook it up. So I might come in front of the camera, so you have to excuse me on that. And I'll explain what the cars are. First is all of the cars that you see here, they are between in the 50s and 60s. And some of them I got as a gift. This crane right here I got as a gift from one of my brother-in-law. At the time he wasn't my brother-in-law, but anyway, he got me that gift. Well, the first one is a black gondola, and it's Pennsylvania, and it has some nice little detail work on it. And there's the logo of the Pennsylvania. And everything you see on this side is on the opposite side. It has some nice little rivet work, and all of the trucks are cast, and the couplings work the same way as the one on the diesel. Now I'll bring up so you can see the other one, the crane, and this particular wheel here operates the hook, goes up and down, and this one brings the boom up and down. I'll give you. I don't want to get my hand in the way, but you can see the boom going up and going down. And as far as the hook goes, sometimes you got to put a little pressure on it. Right. Yeah. She's not working the way she should, but it usually goes down and it brings it up with this wheel here. And she can, go around. Now the next one is the Delaware Lackawanna work caboose, and it has some nice little detail. It has the brake handle here, and it has some rails, has a little metal step, and it has a chimney here. Unfortunately, that broke. I had to glue it again, but it looks pretty good. And then the back of it, which I like on this one, is it has, maybe I'll take it off, you can see it better. Whoops. It has the metal step. It has another brake wheel. And you can see the post coming down, and then you have these 2 rails here. And I like this ladder that comes up. It has some little detail on the roof. And it has a little window in the door molded into it. Looks nice. I enjoyed it. And I'll hook this one up, and we'll get the engine going. And you'll notice, since I put the tire tracks on, sorry about that. All right, it'll start up, and it'll just move nice and easy with it. And there's 3 cars that I have on here. Let me get the engine there. Watch. See how slow I can make it go, and it's not slipping. Those cars really grab the track. You hear the noise though? It really makes a racket. And the lighting. I'll bring it around, and as it comes out of the tunnel, you'll see the lighting and the light coming out of the 3 stacks. As a matter of fact, I'll set the light off. Maybe I'll give it a better look on it. she comes. That's because of the track. There we go. Sometimes when it goes over the switch at low speeds, it'll conk out. But that's a diesel, post-war, mid-50s, and she's still running in 2016, as good as it when I first started in the 50s, as a Christmas gift. And I like the crane and the workmanship. It's ready to do some work on the railroad. There we go. But unfortunately, it doesn't have a horn or a bell. But still, I like it. I think you can see the light. I'm hoping you can see it. Yeah, it's right here. You can see the reflection of the light coming out of the stacks, and that's your headlight right in there. I'll run it a little bit. Like I said, I enjoy running my post-war engine, and also I enjoy running with my Legacy at the same time. So I'll let it run around, and when it comes out of the tunnel over here, I'll stop the video. I just wanted to show you my post-war switcher, diesel switcher, which I received from a Christmas present. Well, fellas, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. I enjoyed making it. And you have a great day, fellas. Take care. Bye.